I'm sitting in my apartment now, 3 months later, and I still can't believe how it all unraveled. The coffee's getting cold in my hands, but I don't care. Sometimes the best revenge is just watching karma do its work. Sometimes it's helping karma along just a little bit. It started innocently enough. My sister Elena called me on a Tuesday evening in March. I was just getting home from work, loosening my tie, when my phone buzzed. "Hey, big brother," she said, her voice honey sweet in that way that always meant she wanted something. "I have exciting news." I should have known then. Elena had always been the golden child, the one who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. 3 years younger than me, she'd mastered the art of getting what she wanted through charm, tears, or manipulation, whatever worked best for the situation. "What's up?" I asked, already dreading the answer. "David proposed. We're getting married in June." David, her boyfriend of 2 years, nice enough guy, worked in finance, drove a sensible Honda, brought flowers to family dinners, the kind of man our parents approved of immediately. "That's great, Elena. Congratulations." "Thank you. I'm so excited. But listen, I need to talk to you about something important." Here it comes, I thought. "The wedding is going to be expensive. You know how mom and dad are about these things. They want it to be perfect. But dad's been struggling since the business had those setbacks last year, and mom's medical bills. Our mother had been diagnosed with diabetes the previous fall. Nothing life-threatening, but the medications and specialist visits added up. Dad's contracting business had lost two major clients, and I knew things were tight. "How much are we talking about?" I asked, though I already suspected where this was heading. "Well, the venue alone is 15,000. Then there's the catering, the flowers, the dress, the photographer. We're looking at about 40,000 total." I whistled low. "That's a lot of money, Elena." I know, but this is my dream wedding, you know. I've been planning it since I was a little girl, and mom and dad can contribute maybe 10,000, and David's parents another 8,000. But we're still short." "How short?" 22,000. I felt my stomach drop. I'd worked hard to build up my savings account. Software engineering paid well, and I'd been disciplined about putting money away. But 22,000 was a significant chunk of my financial security. "Elena, that's a lot to ask." "I know it is, but you're my brother. You're successful. You don't have a family to support yet, and I promise we'll pay you back." The "yet" stung. I was 31, single, and while I dated occasionally, I hadn't found anyone I wanted to marry. Elena knew this was a sensitive topic for me. "I need to think about it," I said. "Of course, take your time, but the deposits are due next week." After we hung up, I sat in my kitchen staring at my bank statements. $22,000. It would wipe out most of my emergency fund, but it wouldn't leave me broke. And Elena was right. I didn't have a family to support. Maybe this was what big brothers were supposed to do. I called her back 3 days later. "I'll do it," I said. "But I want it in writing that you'll pay me back." "Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. You're the best brother in the world." I was crying, and despite my reservations, I felt good about helping her. She deserved to be happy, and if I could make her dream wedding happen, maybe that was worth the financial sacrifice. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of wedding planning. Elena called me almost daily with updates. The venue was booked, the caterer was confirmed, the flowers were ordered. She'd found the perfect dress. Everything was falling into place. But something started bothering me. In all these conversations about the wedding, Elena never mentioned anything about my role in it. Was I in the wedding party, walking her down the aisle, giving a speech? I assumed she was just focused on the logistics and would bring it up later. 2 weeks before the wedding, I decided to ask directly. "So, what time should I be at the venue on Saturday?" I asked during one of our calls. There was a pause, a long pause. About that." Elena's voice had changed. Gone was the excited bride. Now she sounded nervous, almost guilty. "What about it?" "Well, we've been having to cut back on the guest list. The venue has capacity restrictions, and with COVID protocols and everything." "Elena, I'm your brother. I'm not a random guest." I know, but David's family is really big, and his parents are paying for part of the wedding, so we had to invite all his cousins and aunts and uncles. and mom and dad have their friends from church, and then there are our college friends and David's work friends. I felt something cold settling in my stomach. Are you saying I'm not invited to your wedding? It's not that you're not invited. It's just we're trying to keep it small and intimate. Immediate family only. I am immediate family. I mean, like, just parents and grandparents in the wedding party. Who's in the wedding party? Well, David's brother is the best man, and his college roommate is a groomsman, and I have three bridesmaids, Sarah from work, Jessica from college, and David's sister. I sat there processing this. My sister was having a wedding that I was funding, and I wasn't invited. But David's college roommate was in the wedding party. His sister was a bridesmaid. His cousins and aunts and uncles were invited. Let me get this straight, I said slowly. I'm paying for over half of your wedding, but I'm not invited because there's no room. It's not about the money, isn't it? Look, I know you're upset, but try to understand. Planning a wedding is so stressful. There are so many people to consider, so many feelings to manage. I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd want your brother at your wedding. I do want you there, but it's just not possible with the numbers. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all the times Elena had needed something growing up, and I'd been there for her. When she was 12 and got caught shoplifting, I covered for her with our parents. When she was 16 and crashed Dad's car, I lent her money to get it fixed before he found out. When she was in college and failing calculus, I spent every weekend for a month tutoring her. And now, when she was having the most important day of her life, there was no room for me. I called in sick to work the next day and spent the morning walking around the city trying to clear my head. That's when I ran into Marcus, my cousin on my mother's side. He was grabbing coffee at the same place I'd stopped at. "Hey, stranger," he said, clapping me on the shoulder. "Ready for the big day?" "What big day?" "Elena's wedding, this Saturday. Don't tell me you forgot." I stared at him. "You're invited?" "Of course I'm invited. Got the invitation 6 weeks ago. Beautiful design, really fancy. Why do you look like you've seen a ghost?" I explained the situation to Marcus, and his expression grew darker with each detail. "Let me get this straight," he said. "You're paying for the wedding, but you're not invited? And I'm invited? Apparently the venue has capacity restrictions." "That's bullshit. I've been to that venue for other events. It holds at least 200 people. And even if it didn't, what kind of person invites their cousin, but not their brother?" That afternoon, I started making phone calls. First to my Aunt Linda, Marcus's mother. "Of course I'm invited," she said when I asked. "Your whole family is invited. Well, oh, except me. Honey, I'm sure there's been some misunderstanding." But there wasn't. I called 3 more relatives. Uncle Robert was invited. Cousin Jennifer was invited. Even my father's brother Tom, who Elena barely spoke to, was invited. I was the only one who wasn't. That evening, I called Elena. "I talked to Marcus today," I said without preamble. "Oh." Her voice was small. "He's invited to your wedding." "Listen, I can explain. So are Linda and Robert and Jennifer and Tom. Pretty much everyone in our family except me." "It's complicated." "No, it's not. It's actually very simple. You took my money and then decided you didn't want me at your wedding. What I don't understand is what boy." There was a long silence. Then Elena started crying. "It's David's family," she said through her tears. They're, they're kind of traditional, conservative, and they know you're not married, and they know you've been living with girlfriends, and they made some comments about family values, and so you uninvited me to appease your future in-laws." "I didn't uninvite you. I couldn't invite everyone I wanted to invite. But you could invite people you barely know. They're David's family. And I'm your family. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But the invitations are already sent, and the seating chart is done, and what? You thought I'd just quietly accept being excluded from my own sister's wedding after paying for it?" I hoped you'd understand. I hung up. The next morning, I called my bank and put a stop payment on the check I'd written for the wedding expenses. Then I called the venue. I need to cancel the event scheduled for this Saturday, I told the events coordinator. I'm sorry, but only the person who booked the event can cancel it. I'm the one paying for it. I understand, but our policy is that only the primary contact can make changes to the booking. I'd suspected this might be the case. Elena had handled all the bookings directly, even though I was funding everything. She'd probably done it deliberately to maintain control, so I tried a different approach. I called the caterer. I need to cancel the catering order for Elena Rodriguez's wedding this Saturday. May I ask who's calling? I'm her brother, and I'm the one paying for the catering. I'm sorry, but I can only take cancellation requests from the person who placed the order. Same story with the florist. Same story with the photographer. Elena had been smart about this. She'd made sure I couldn't cancel anything directly, even though I was paying for it all. But I had one more option. I called Elena. I want my money back, I said when she answered. What? $22,000. I want it back. Today. I can't give it back today. It's already been spent on deposits, and then I guess you'll have to figure out how to pay for your wedding some other way. You can't do this. The wedding is in 5 days. Watch me. I called my bank again and explained the situation. They said they could reverse the transfer, but it would take 3 to 5 business days, and there might be fees involved if Elena's account didn't have sufficient funds to cover the reversal. Perfect. Then I did something I'd never done before. I called in my 2 weeks vacation time, effective immediately. Where are you going? My manager asked. Hawaii, I said. It was the first destination that popped into my head, but as soon as I said it, I knew it was perfect. I need to get away for a while. I booked a flight that evening in a beachfront hotel for 10 days. If I couldn't attend my sister's wedding, I'd at least enjoy myself somewhere tropical. My phone started ringing as soon as I got to the airport. Elena, Mom, Dad, Elena again. I turned it off and didn't turn it back on until I was sitting on the beach in Maui with a Mai Tai in my hand. 37 missed calls, 62 text messages. I scrolled through them leisurely, sipping my drink and watching the sunset. Elena, please call me. We need to talk. Mom, what's going on? Elena is hysterical. Dad, son, call me. We need to sort this out. Elena, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, but you can't do this to me. Mom, the wedding is in 3 days. Please don't ruin your sister's special day. Elena, I'll pay you back. I promise. Just please don't cancel the payment. I called Marcus. Dude, where are you? He said when he answered. Your whole family is freaking out. I'm in Hawaii. Hawaii, are you serious? Dead serious. How are the wedding preparations going? That's what I'm calling about. Apparently the venue is threatening to cancel because they haven't received payment. Elena's been calling everyone in the family trying to borrow money. How much has she raised? Maybe 5,000. Your Aunt Linda gave her 2,000, and your parents emptied their savings for another 3,000, but it's not nearly enough. Interesting. Also, there's something else. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but there are rumors. What kind of rumors? About Elena. Some people are saying she's been seeing someone else. I nearly dropped my phone. What? I don't know if it's true, but Jessica, you know her bridesmaid from college, she was at O'Malley's last weekend and saw Elena with some guy. They were close. How close? Close enough that Jessica thought it was weird. She texted me asking if Elena and David had broken up. Did you ask Elena about it? I couldn't. I mean, what was I supposed to say? Hey, are you cheating on your fiance 3 days before your wedding? After I hung up, I sat on the beach for a long time, watching the waves. Part of me felt vindicated. Elena had betrayed me, and now it seemed like she might be betraying David too. But another part of me felt sick. If she was having an affair, it meant David was about to marry someone who didn't love him. It meant the whole wedding was a lie. I turned my phone back off and tried to enjoy my vacation. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of someone pounding on my hotel room door. I checked the time. 7 a.m. Who could possibly be here? I opened the door to find my mother standing in the hallway, looking exhausted and angry. Mom, how did you... I called every hotel in Maui until I found you, she said, pushing past me into the room. Do you have any idea what you've done? I went on vacation. You ruined your sister's wedding. I didn't ruin anything. I just decided not to pay for a wedding I wasn't invited to. She was going to invite you? No, she wasn't. She made that very clear. My mother sat down heavily on the bed. She looked like she'd aged 10 years in the past week. The wedding is tomorrow, she said. The caterer is demanding payment today, or they'll cancel. The venue is threatening to give the space to someone else. Elena hasn't stopped crying in 3 days. Maybe she should have thought about that before she decided I wasn't good enough to attend. She made a mistake. She knows that now. This wasn't a mistake, Mom. This was a choice. She chose David's family over her own brother. She's young. She was scared. David's parents were putting pressure on her. So she threw me under the bus. My mother looked at me with tears in her eyes. Please, I'm begging you. Don't let your sister's wedding be ruined because of pride. This isn't about pride. Then what is it about? I thought about it for a moment. It's about consequences. Elena has spent her whole life believing she can treat people badly and someone will always clean up her mess. Well, not this time. If you don't restore the payment, there won't be a wedding at all. Maybe that's for the best. My mother stared at me. What do you mean? I told her about the rumors Marcus had shared, about Jessica seeing Elena with another man, about the questions that were being raised about Elena's faithfulness. That's impossible, my mother said immediately. Elena loves David. Does she? Or does she love the idea of being married to someone David's parents approve of? You're being cruel. I'm being realistic. My mother stayed for 2 more hours, alternating between pleading with me and lecturing me about family loyalty. Finally, she left, defeated. I spent the rest of the day snorkeling and trying not to think about what was happening back home. But that evening, my phone rang. It was Marcus. You need to know something, he said without preamble. The wedding is off. What? Elena called it off about an hour ago. Why? Because David found out about the affair. I felt my stomach drop. What affair? Apparently, she's been seeing her old college boyfriend, Ryan, for the past 3 months. David found out yesterday and confronted her. She confessed everything. Jesus. It gets worse. She's been talking about leaving David for Ryan. The wedding was just, I don't know, some kind of backup plan? Or maybe she was hoping the marriage would force her to stop seeing Ryan. That's insane. David is devastated. He's been in love with her for 3 years, and it turns out she's been lying to him for months. His parents are furious. They're demanding that Elena's family pay back all the money they contributed to the wedding. What about the vendors? Everything's been canceled. The venue, the caterer, the flowers, all of it. Elena's having a complete breakdown. She's been calling everyone she knows, trying to get them to loan her money to pay back David's family. How much does she owe them? $8,000, plus they want compensation for the emotional distress. They're talking about suing her. I sat there processing this information. Elena had cheated on David. The wedding was off. She was facing financial ruin and possibly a lawsuit. And somehow I didn't feel as satisfied as I had expected to. There's something else, Marcus said. Elena's been trying to call you. She wants to talk. I don't want to talk to her. I think you should. Why? Because she's your sister. And because I think she's learned something from all this. I hung up and turned off my phone again. But I couldn't enjoy the rest of my evening. I kept thinking about Elena, sitting somewhere crying, her whole world falling apart. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. 49 missed calls from Elena. I listened to one of her voicemails. Please, she said, her voice barely a whisper. Please call me back. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you, but I need to talk to you. I need to tell you something. I called her back. Oh my God, she said when she heard my voice. Thank you for calling. Thank you. I heard about David. I'm so sorry. I'm so much sorry about everything. Why did you do it, Elena? Why did you cheat on him? I don't know. I was scared. I was scared of getting married, scared of being locked into one life forever. Ryan and I had so much history, and when he came back to town and reached out to me, I thought I was just seeing what it felt like to be with him again. I thought I could handle it. But you couldn't. No, I couldn't. And now I've ruined everything. I've lost David. I've lost the wedding. I've lost my reputation. I've lost my family's respect, and I've lost my brother. You didn't lose me because of the affair, Elena. You lost me because you excluded me from your life while expecting me to pay for it. I know. I know that now. I was so focused on trying to make David's family happy that I forgot about my own family. I forgot about you. Why was their approval so important to you? Because I thought it would make me important too. I thought if I married into the right family, if I had the right wedding, if I did everything perfectly, then I'd finally be someone worth respecting. You were already someone worth respecting. Was I? I've been thinking about it for the past few days, and I realized that I've been using people my whole life. Using you, using mom and dad, using David. I've been so focused on getting what I wanted that I never stopped to think about what I was giving back. What are you going to do now? I don't know. David wants nothing to do with me. His parents are threatening to sue me. I owe thousands of dollars to vendors. I don't have a job that pays enough to cover all this debt. What about Ryan? What about him? Are you going to be with him? No, I realized that I wasn't actually in love with Ryan. I was in love with the idea of escaping from the life I'd built. But you can't build a relationship on running away from something else. I sat there listening to my sister cry, and despite everything she'd done, I felt sorry for her. She destroyed her life in pursuit of something that didn't even exist. I'm coming home, I said finally. You don't have to do that. Yes, I do. We need to talk in person. I flew back to the mainland the next day. When I got to my parents' house, I found Elena sitting at the kitchen table, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were red and swollen, her hair was unwashed, and she seemed to have lost weight. You look terrible, I said, sitting down across from her. I feel terrible. Good, you should. She nodded. I deserve that. Yes, you do, but you don't deserve to have your life destroyed forever. What do you mean? I mean I'm going to help you, not because you deserve it, but because you're my sister and I love you despite everything you've done. I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering, but this time things are going to be different. How? You're going to pay back every penny you owe to David's family, to the vendors, to everyone. And you're going to do it with your own money, even if it takes years. Okay? And you're going to get counseling. You need to figure out why you make the choices you make, and you need to learn how to be in a relationship without lying and cheating. Okay? And you're going to apologize to David, not because you want him back, but because he deserves to hear that you're sorry for what you did to him. I already tried. He won't talk to me. Then you'll write him a letter, and you'll keep trying until he's ready to hear it. What if he's never ready? Then you'll live with that, but you'll keep trying anyway. Lena nodded, tears streaming down her face. Why are you helping me? Because that's what family does, even when we don't deserve it. Over the next few weeks, Elena and I worked together to clean up the mess she'd made. I lent her money to pay back David's family, and she got a second job to start paying me back. She started seeing a therapist twice a week. She wrote David a long letter apologizing for everything she'd done, and when he didn't respond, she wrote another one. It took months, but slowly, Elena began to rebuild her life. She moved into a small apartment, focused on her career, and started volunteering at a women's shelter. She stopped dating entirely and spent her time working on herself. David never responded to her letters, but through mutual friends, we heard that he was doing well. He'd started dating someone new, a woman from his church who seemed to make him happy. Elena was genuinely glad to hear it. I'm happy for him, she told me when I shared the news. He deserves someone who will love him completely. Do you regret it? I asked. The affair, I mean. Every day. But I also think maybe it was the only way I was going to learn this lesson. Maybe I had to destroy everything to realize what really mattered. What really matters. Family, honesty, treating people with respect, being someone worth loving instead of just trying to get people to love me. 6 months after the wedding that never was, Elena had paid back half of what she owed me. She'd lost 20 pounds, gotten a promotion at work, and seemed genuinely happy for the first time in years. You know what's funny? She said during one of our weekly dinners. I spent so much time trying to have the perfect wedding that I forgot to think about whether I wanted the marriage. Do you think you and David could have made it work if you hadn't cheated? No, I think we would have gotten divorced within a year. We wanted different things, but I was too scared to admit it. I thought I could make myself want the same things he wanted. And now I know that I need to figure out what I want before I can be with someone else. I need to know who I am when I'm not trying to be what someone else wants me to be. Looking back now, 3 months after that conversation, I realized that Elena's betrayal taught me something too. It taught me that love isn't about enabling someone's worst behavior. It's about holding them accountable while still supporting them through the consequences of their choices. Elena still has a long way to go. She's still paying me back, still in therapy, still single, but she's also more honest, more self-aware, and more genuinely caring than she's ever been. She calls me regularly, not because she wants something, but because she wants to know how I'm doing. As for me, I learned that revenge isn't as satisfying as you think it's going to be. Watching Elena's life fall apart didn't make me feel vindicated. It made me feel sad for everyone involved. Elena, David, our parents, even David's family. But justice? Justice felt right. Elena facing the consequences of her actions, learning from her mistakes, and working to make things right, that felt like the way things should be. I'm still single, still living in the same apartment, still working the same job, but I'm also more aware of what I want in a relationship. I want someone who chooses me, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard. I want someone who values honesty over keeping the peace. I want someone who understands that love is something you do, not just something you feel. And maybe someday I'll find that person, but if I don't, I'll be okay. Because I've learned that the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. And I finally like who I am when I'm not trying to be what someone else wants me to be. The wedding fund is slowly being replenished. Elena sends me a check every month, along with a short note about how she's doing. Sometimes she includes a photo, her new apartment, a hiking trip she took, a volunteer event at the shelter. She's building a life that's actually hers, not a performance of what she thinks life should look like. And me, I'm planning my own trip, not to run away from anything, but to celebrate something. To celebrate the fact that sometimes the best thing you can do for someone you love is to let them face the music. To celebrate the fact that families can survive betrayal, but only if everyone's willing to do the work to earn back trust. I'm thinking about Italy. I've always wanted to see Rome, to walk through history, to eat real pasta and drink wine in small cafes. Maybe I'll go alone. Maybe I'll invite a friend. Maybe I'll meet someone interesting along the way. But this time, I'm not running away from anything. This time, I'm running towards something. Toward a life where I choose the people who choose me. Toward a future where family means showing up for each other, especially when it's hard. Elena's wedding may never have happened, but something better did. We both learned who we really are when everything falls apart. And we learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to let someone face the consequences of their choices. The check from Elena arrived yesterday, along with a note that said simply, "Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself." I put the check in my savings account and the note in my desk drawer, next to all the others she's sent. Someday when she's paid me back in full, I'll give them all back to her. A reminder of how far she's come and how much growth can happen when you stop running from the truth. But for now, I'm just grateful. Grateful for a sister who's learning to be the person she's always had the potential to be. Grateful for parents who supported us both through the mess. Grateful for the reminder that love isn't about protecting people from consequences. It's about staying with them while they learn from those consequences. And grateful for the knowledge that sometimes the best revenge is simply living well and letting karma do its work. Because in the end, Elena's betrayal didn't just hurt me, it freed me. It freed me from the obligation to keep enabling her bad behavior. It freed me from the family dynamic where I was always the one who fixed things. It freed me to choose how I wanted to be treated. The wedding that never was became the catalyst for the relationships we actually needed. And for that, I'm grateful.